Hello and welcome to Patrick's Models on Transport. So we're going to have a quick look at the two Jouef SNCF 040TA locomotives. On the left you see the one we've already seen in a review, one from the blue box, there it is, which we already reviewed. This is a version with the open cab, and this has the rubber belt drive between the motor and the drive shaft, which goes and drives the worm guard, moves the worm drive, which then acts on the drive gear. On the right side here you see an earlier 040TA. This is a version from the red box. There it is. Okay, I'm speaking quietly because it's late, and this is an earlier version. It has straight toothed gears, metal gears from the motor to the drive shaft. The drive shaft then has worm drive on the front axle. Instead, on the later model, we have it on the rear axle. In fact, you can see the traction tyres are on the rearmost axle. In this case, the traction tyres are on the frontmost axle. And the other main difference is that on the newer version, the first three sets of wheels are pick-up electricity, wiper pickups on the centremost ones, and here we have go behind the wheels, and here we have some very nice springy wire pickups that go and touch on the tyre, and very good. So we have three sets of wheels out of four that pick up electricity with good continuity. On the older version we have only the two center axles wheels that pick up electricity from the same identical wiper pickups on the later model, but we don't have any electricity picked up by the rearmost wheels, which is a pity because they would be perfectly okay to do so. And the front wheels have got the traction tyres because they are driven. So the moulding of the chassis is absolutely identical. The base plates are identical. This is a newer one, this is the older one. The other main difference between these two locomotives is that the newer version, the black one with the open cab, has a 5-pole motor and of course the rubber belt drive. The older version has got the 3-pole motor, which makes it much noisier because the Jouef 3-pole motors are pretty noisy motors, plus the extra noises produced by the metal drive gears, because we have a metal drive gear on the motor and the metal drive gear, brass drive gear here on the drive shaft. And this is the version with the closed cab, and the green, it's black and green. Instead, this one here is black, completely black, of the same model. Of course, later versions of the closed cab also included the upgrade. So what's very interesting is that I was really after the closed cab version, and it was good to get it with a different mechanical layout. It makes it more interesting, even if it's much more primitive and probably not as efficient. This is a good locomotive at picking up. Then there's one last thing I want to attract your attention to. This spring plate here. This plate here. Now, when I dismantled this locomotive, I found it here in the middle, on top of the axles, as if it were pushing the axles up towards the wipers, the wiper pickups, the pickups. When I first dismantled my my later 040T, I remember that this part just fell out when I took the base plate out, because I'd never opened such a locomotive. And then I studied it and tried tried putting it in like this. As you can see, what I've done here, I keep this copper plate, spring plate, I keep it under the axles to give the axle springiness, because these are the two main conductive wheels, sets of wheels plus the front one, and to make these more springy so that they're pushed down towards the track. And then the weight of the locomotive, this is quite a heavy locomotive, it has a very good heavy cast lead ballast in the boiler and tanks, is pushed down towards the, and I've noticed that it works very, very well. In this case here, in this locomotive, I'm going to do the same thing. This locomotive's probably been opened in its life because the screws look, you realise that it's been opened because you'll see that the screws have been opened. They're a bit snitched and things. You can see that these screws have been opened in life. And what happens, that part catches on these two little pegs you see beside my thumb. And what happens, falls out, and then whoever dismantled the locomotive has no idea how to put it back in again. Like in my case, when I opened this one here the first time last year, and they just stick it in, and then the locomotive doesn't work well, and because if this spring plate is pushing the wheels up, it pushes them up towards the pickups, yes, but it also pushes the rearmost of the two away from the track, and so you reduce your conductivity. Instead of these here are sort of pushed down, weight of the locomotive pushes them down, the rails push them back up, and you have an excellent contact, and a very good contact even on points, regular track and things like this. So okay, now I'm going to put the phone down and screw this one back together. You can see that this was lubricated over a year ago. Technical petroleum jelly is still nice and moist, no problem. I removed some lint and some dust and things that probably gathered running on the layout, and I'm just going to screw this together and put it away. And the next days, tomorrow probably, I think I'm going to actually get round to cleaning this, cleaning all the pickups, lubricating and getting it ready for the running day. Okay, so that's enough for tonight. It's 11:30 p.m. here in Italy. Cheerio, and see you next time. Ciao, ciao.